So Psalm 27, 1 through 3, from the New Living Translation says this. It says, "The Lord is my light and my salvation, so why should I be afraid? The Lord is my fortress, protecting me from danger, so why should I tremble? When evil people come to devour me, when my enemies and foes attack me, they will stumble and fall. Though a mighty army surrounds me, my heart will not be afraid. Even when I am attacked, I will remain confident." And then in Psalm 46, in the NIV, it says, "God is our refuge and strength, an ever-present help in trouble. Therefore, we will not fear, though the earth give way, and the mountains fall into the heart of the sea, though its waters roar and foam, and the mountains quake with their surging." See, these are all situations where things are bad, right? And yet it says, hey, even with the ground fails from underneath your feet, even if some trust in chariots, some trust in horses, insurance, bank accounts, whatever, and those things are not bad things. You know, I'm personally, I'm pro-horse, but we trust in the name of the Lord our God, right? And then Jesus came into the world, God himself living among us, living the life we live, through the aches and the pains of life. He lived that, right? And in absolutely terrifying times, he took up this theme. In Mark 4, we read, "That day when evening came, he said to his disciples, 'Let us go over to the other side.' Leaving the crowd behind, they took him along just as he was in the boat. There were also other boats with him. A furious squall came up, and the waves broke over the boat, so that it was nearly swamped. Jesus was in the stern, sleeping on a cushion. The disciples woke him and said to him, 'Teacher, don't you care if we drown?' He got up, rebuked the wind, and said to the waves, 'Quiet, be still.' And then the wind died down, and it was completely calm. He said to the disciples, 'Why are you so afraid? Do you still have no faith?' They were terrified and asked each other, 'Who is this? Even the wind and the waves obey him.' Another storm on the Sea of Galilee, but with different circumstances this time. Jesus sent his disciples to the other side of the lake, but stayed behind. And in Matthew 14, it says, after he dismissed them, he went up on a mountainside by himself to pray. Later that night he was there alone, and the boat was already a considerable distance from the land, buffeted by the waves because the wind was against it. Shortly before dawn, Jesus went out to them walking on the lake. When the disciples saw him walking on the lake, they were terrified. "It's a ghost, it's a ghost," they said, and cried out in fear. But Jesus immediately said to them, "Take courage, it is I, do not be afraid." Then a completely different kind of fear Jesus talks about in Luke chapter 12. Then Jesus said to his disciples, "Therefore I tell you, do not worry about your life, what you will eat, about your body, what you will wear. For life is more than food, and the body more than clothes. Consider the ravens. They do not sow, they do not reap. They have no storeroom or barn, but yet God feeds them. And how much more valuable you are than birds? Who of you by worrying can add a single hour to your life? Since you cannot do this very little thing, why do you worry about the rest? Consider how the wild flowers grow. They do not labor or spin. Yet I tell you, not even Solomon in all of his splendor was dressed like one of these. If that is how God clothes the grass of the field, which is here today and tomorrow is thrown into the fire, how much more will he clothe you, you of little faith? And do not set your heart on what you will eat or drink. Do not worry about it. For the pagan world runs after all such things, and your Father knows that you need them. But seek his kingdom, and these things will be given to you as well. Do not be afraid, little flock, for your Father has been pleased to give you the kingdom." Jesus lists all the enormous pressures we have on us, providing ourselves and our families with enough to survive, right? And he doesn't tell us our fears are unfounded or infantile. He says, "You may be poor and needy, but don't be afraid. You are royalty." See, we see these storms at sea. The disciples who have followed Jesus, these 3 years are still terrified of the world, of life in general. In the boat, experienced sailors were terrified of the storm, and Jesus just goes up, "Be still, be calm." See, guys, the main point of this is just don't fear. Right? We're all at home right now. We're all trying to figure out what this whole COVID-19 is all about, what our next steps are. You're at home and you're not in school. You're not seeing your friends, your best friends. People here at Outbreak, you're not seeing them. It's kind of weird. It's nothing we've ever seen. But don't panic. Stay strong. Don't fear. Read these verses. Read the verses we'll post on Instagram and on this channel. Set time aside and really dive into what God is trying to tell you. You will find peace. You will find calmness. I'm here. Caleb, Jamie, Aaron, Ashley, Josh, they're all here. Sam, they're all here for you. You could text us, call us whenever you want, and we'll answer. Guys, this is a thing. It's hard on your parents too, right? And if you have other siblings, it's hard on them. Help out. These times are stressful for everyone. Help out. Don't panic. Don't let fear and anger build up inside of you to just let it out at home, right? You can still text your friends. You can still FaceTime them. So tomorrow, during this time, I'm going to let you know what to expect. What's going to happen Wednesday? What are we going to do for Outbreak? For right now, we're not meeting this week, and we'll go about what the governor and what all the states are saying, what to do. But right now, I'm just going to keep doing this. Every day, I'll put out a video, an announcement. Things you can do, games. We'll have some silly games that I want you to interact with, right? We don't want to be, we're isolated right now, but we can be so free with our technology, right? Instagram, Snapchat, YouTube, Facebook. It's all here, right at right at your fingertips, right? And so what I want you guys to do is keep paying attention to that. Interact with me. Interact with the pages. Share it with your friends so they can interact too. Because with us, we have this hope, right? Of freedom, of calmness, of peace. And the world doesn't show that side, right? The news, the media, it's all fear. Your friends are probably more fearful than you, but in you know there's nothing to fear. So do not fear. Have a good day.